Hello po mga kababayan, kamusta po kayong lahat? And once again, welcome back po sa ating channel, Simply Talkies Vlog. Ang ating pong pag-uusapan, bibigyan ng ating komento o reaction ay ito pong naganap na 43rd, no? O yung 2023 ASEAN Summit diyan po sa Indonesia, na kung saan dumalo po ang ating Pangulong Bongbong Marcos at siya po ay nag-ulat para sa atin kung ano po yung mga accomplishment po ng ating Pangulo para sa ating bansa during that summit. Ito po, galing po ito sa kanyang YouTube channel, Facebook page, no? Hindi naman po tayo ika-copyright ng mahal na Pangulo. I-embed na po natin dito para mapanood nyo na po, para po sa mga benefits ng mga hindi pa nakakapanood nito. Kung napanood nyo na po, panoorin nyo ulit, di ba? 5 minutes and 11 seconds. Okay, sabay-sabay po nating panoorin at tayo'y magbibigay lang ng ating opinion at reaction. Okay, let's go!
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, fellow workers in government and members of the press. The 43rd ASEAN Summit and related summits demonstrated that countries around the region are committed to regional cooperation and multilateralism, but remain challenged in promoting peace, security, stability, and prosperity in the region. I was able to participate in 12 leaders-level meetings, including with Australia, Canada, China, India, Japan, the Republic of Korea, and the United States and the United Nations. In these meetings, I promoted and highlighted key interests of ASEAN, such as food and energy security, migrant workers' protection, climate change, and digital transformation, issues that are of strategic importance to the Philippines. Fellow ASEAN member states and some external partners highlighted the importance of a rules-based international order. They also maintained that ASEAN is a competitive and integrated regional economy underpinned by the principle of centrality. The Philippines championed efforts to immediately operationalize guidelines in protecting migrant workers and family members in crisis situations, as well as combating trafficking in persons. I participated in the ASEAN Plus 3 Summit with ASEAN member states and China, Japan, and the Republic of Korea, where we discussed areas of cooperation such as food security, climate change, the digital economy, amongst other things. I also attended the East Asia Summit, which is the premier leaders-led forum on broad, strategic, political, and economic issues of common interest and concern. We discussed regional and international issues, during which I emphasized the importance of a rules-based international order, especially in the disputes in the South China Sea, inasmuch as they affect not only our nation, but the entire region. I reaffirmed that the Philippines is committed to the peaceful resolution of disputes and called on all countries to continue upholding freedom of navigation and overflight in the South China Sea. This in accordance with international law, including the 1982 UNCLOS. We urged all parties to exercise self-restraint and refrain from unilateral and assertive activities that could increase tensions and lead to misunderstandings and miscalculations in the South China Sea. We also discussed significant regional and global issues, including the situation in Myanmar, the denuclearization of the Korean Peninsula, and the conflict in Ukraine, amongst other crisis areas. I met on a bilateral level the leaders of Cambodia, Canada, Cook Islands, India, Republic of Korea, and Vietnam, as well as with the president of the World Bank Group, where we had a robust and candid and very productive discussion. I also held informal talks with the Japanese Prime Minister Fumio Kishida and U.S. Vice President Kamala Harris on strengthening cooperation in key areas of mutual interest. On the sidelines of the summit, I met with top executives of select Indonesian companies who are looking at the Philippines to further expand their presence. We come home with $22 million in investment commitments in areas crucial for our economic recovery efforts, such as agriculture and digital economy. I met again with one company which I had dialogues with during my state visit to Indonesia last year, and they updated us on the progress of their investment commitment. This is a clear testament that together we can make it happen in the Philippines. I also witnessed the signing of the Philippines-Republic of Korea Free Trade Agreement, which clearly demonstrates the shared commitment of both countries to their mutual economic growth and development. The FTA will strengthen our bilateral trade and investment relations with the Republic of Korea, especially as it generates jobs and contributes to the Philippines' value proposition as an ideal regional hub for smart and sustainable investments. The signing of the FTA is a testament to the realization of the many opportunities for complementation and collaboration between the Philippines and South Korea, and an even greater milestone for our economic friendship. Finally, following consultations among ASEAN member states, I am pleased to announce that the Philippines will chair ASEAN in 2026 instead of 2027. As a founding member of ASEAN, we stepped up to this role to ensure the continuity of our progress towards a people-oriented, people-centered, inclusive, rules-based ASEAN community. I thank our gracious host, and I congratulate President Widodo for his very able stewardship as chair of ASEAN this year, and for making ASEAN as important as it ever has been. I also thank them for their very warm hospitality to the Philippine delegation, and I look forward to the able leadership of Lao PDR when they host ASEAN in 2024. Maraming salamat at magandang gabi po sa inyo lahat.
Yan po yung summary ng mga kaganapan na ginawa ng ating Pangulong Bongbong Marcos diyan po sa 43rd ASEAN Summit sa Indonesia. No, napakaganda po niyan kasi kanya pong in-advance yung interest ng ating bansa sa mga world leaders. No? Jakarta, Indonesia po yan. So 12 leaders po, no, ang nakasama niya diyan, no? Nandiyan ang Australia, Canada, China, India, Japan, Korea, United States, and United Nations na kung saan nakausap niya. Bibiruin niyo pati China kasi partners po sila ng ASEAN, no? At least kahit papaano na ibigay niya, no? Pinaliwanag niya yung lalong-lalo na yung kanya yung interest po ng mga karatig partners natin diyan po sa South China Sea, no? Sabi niya dito, inano lang natin ha, we discuss regional and international issues, during which I emphasize the importance of a rules-based international order, especially in the dispute in the South China Sea, in as much as they affect not only our nation but also the entire region. O tignan nyo, hindi lang Pilipinas, marami pong sinaklawan yung bagong 10 dash line nitong mga Chekwa. No? At least pinapakita ng Pangulo na, oy, kami hindi namin tinatanggap yan. Kasama din namin yung ibang bansa na apektado. Di po ba? I reaffirm that the Philippines is committed to the peaceful resolution of disputes and called on all countries to continue upholding freedom of navigation and overflight in the South China Sea in accordance with international law, including the 1982 UNCLOS, yung United Nations, I forgot the sea, yung Laws of the Sea. Pero yung sea, hindi ko po alam. Huwag ko nang i-google, kayo na ang mag-google dyan. No? Na-met niya rin po dyan si Japan Prime Minister Fumio Kishida and US Vice President Kamala Harris, no? Strengthening the cooperation in key areas of mutual interest. No? The same time, dito naman po sa Cambodia, Canada, Cook Islands, India, Republic of Korea, and Vietnam, as well as with the President of the World Bank, where they have a robust and candid productive discussions. Alam ko, yung Prime Minister ng Canada, si Justin Trudeau ba yun? Correct me if I'm wrong. Inimbita po ang Pangulong Bongbong Marcos na mag-state visit doon sa Canada next year. O diba? Meron na namang i-issue dyan ang mga anti-Marcos. Biyahe na naman? O, di ba? Anong pakialam ninyo? Kung may problema kayo sa biyahe ng Pangulo, kausapin nyo si Juan Ponce Enrile. Bibigyan kayo ng legality. O, hindi lang dyan pupunta ang Pangulo sa Canada. Di ba sa November, pupunta siya dito sa Bay Area, dyan sa San Francisco. Gusto pa nga pumunta sa Tech Valley, sa Silicon Valley. Malayo po yun. Dinrive ko po yan. Nung nag-graduate yung anak ko sa UC Davis, sa Sacramento yung graduation, yung UC Davis nasa Davis. City of Davis yan. Magandang school din, malaki. No? Nung nag-graduate, sabi niya, following day, nandun kami sa Davis, sabi ko sa anak ko, gala tayo. Ayaw ko nang pumunta ng San Francisco, palagi kami dyan, sa Pier, sa Golden Gate, no? Sa Aquarium. Ay ko, iba naman, ibang lugar naman sa California. Punta kami sa Monterey Bay. Diyos me, yung mga kababayan kaibigan. Ang ganda. Affluent yung lugar na yon. No? Ang daming mayayaman. Nakita ko doon sa isa kong vlog nakakita niyo yung sa likuran ko, mga yate. Punta kami sa Monterey Bay Aquarium. Maganda naman po. No, bili ako ticket. Online na lang lahat dito. Pakita mo lang sa phone. Nandun na No, mabilis lang No? Ang ganda ng weather. Parang San Diego. No? Namamahalin din yung lugar. Parkingan, wala kang makitang parkingan, mga kababayan. Tapos madaanan ko yung Cupertino, yung lugar ng Silicon Valley. Sabi lang nung anak ko, ito yung way papuntang Silicon Valley, Cupertino. Pupunta ang Pangulo dyan. Technology. Baka mag-aaral siyang mag-AI. Di ba yung artificial intelligence, ha? Kaya kayong mga naysayer, ha? Huwag niyong abangan yung Canada. Next year pa yan kay Trudeau. No? Dito muna sa Bay Area. Pupunta pa nga daw po ng Los Angeles Baka pupuntahan yung maingay na vlogger dito, yung propagator ng fake news. yung hitad. Sana naman. Di po ba kung ako kay hitad, makipag-ayos na siya no? Di po ba? Wala kang mapapala hitad, di ba? At ito nga po, sinabi ng Pangulo, siya po ay makakapag-uwi ng $22 million investment pledges. Ito naman yung mga naysayers ulit. Wala, pledges lang yan. Hindi maaari yan. No? Walang magkakatotoo dyan. Bakit hindi nyo tanongin ng DTI? Sabi ng DTI, yung investment pledges na nakuha ng Pangulo sa kanyang mga foreign trips ay nasa 80%. Baka yung iba nga dyan, paulit-ulit kong sinasabi, siyempre, meron tayong economic provisions, di ba? Medyo katalinghaga yung ang pagnenegosyo ng mga foreigner sa bansa. Because nakasulat sa Constitution, di ba? Gusto nga baguhin ni Robin yan. Di po ba? Bakit instead na punta ng Vietnam or other neighboring countries, bakit hindi sila mag-Pilipinas? Magagaling naman mag-English ang mga Pinoy, mga hardworking. Kasi may ganitong economic provisions kayo Ayun ang ayaw namin. Di ba? We are tied up. Ngayon, siguro, gagawa ng loop around yan. Ganito. Hanggang sa maamyendahan yung provision doon sa ating konstitusyon. Pero, pledges yan. It might happen or it might not happen. Yun pa nga, binisita pa nga daw yung isang company. No? Pinalo up niya. Pinamo siya na mismo nag-follow up. Nung napuntahan niya, nung unang bisita niya sa Indonesia, sabi naman, they're still working around. Hindi naman kaagad-agad. Di po ba? Pero at least, merong nahihikayat na mag-invest ang Pangulo. At rockstar ang Pangulo. Sinong kausap niya? 12 bansa. Kasama pa dyan ng Cook Island. Saan ba tong Cook Island? Siguro maraming cook dito, no? Yung mga chef. Di ko po alam yan Gago ka naman. Tokis, di ba? Cook Island, sinong mga nandyan? Di, siyempre, mga chef, magagaling magluto. Di masarap yan. Kinokondina din niya yung mga paggawa ng ballistic missile ng North Korea. Kasi delikado tong Korea, di ba? Napakaano nito. Panay ang gawa ng missile nito, Gusto talagang pabagsakin yata yung mundo nito. Di ba? Yan po. Ngayon, i-host natin ang ASEAN Summit sa 2026. Tayong mag-host niyan. Malapit-lapit na yan. 2 years na lang after December. Di po ba? O, marami pa pong mga naganap doon, pero at least ito, sinamarize po ng Pangulo yung kanyang ginawa. Yung nangyari doon sa sidelines o meetings niya dyan sa 43rd ASEAN Summit sa Jakarta, Indonesia. O di po ba? O hindi na tayo magbibigay sa inyo pa isa-isang report o whatever. Sinamarize na ng Pangulo para sa atin. O hopefully, kung pupunta po siya ng Bay Area o dito sa LA, makita ko naman, magkaroon ako ng oras para lang kahit papano mapicturan yung rockstar nating presidente. Di po ba? Hopefully. No? Kung time permits, no? Kung ia-allow tayo ng Diyos, sana naman, maski na yun lang doon tayo, BBM! Picture. Di ba? O, pasensya naman sa mga anti-Marcos, sa mga naysayer. O, tumalon na lang kayo dyan sa inyong mga kama. Magwawala kayo dyan, pukpukin nyo ng unan yung sarili ninyo. O, di po ba? O, eto po, isama na natin dito, idagdag lang natin. Ito, latest na balita, meron pong nag-resign na Undersecretary ng Finance, si Cielo Magno. No? Ito po yung statement. Statement of the Executive Secretary on the resignation of Department of Finance Undersecretary Cielo Magno. She has been against daw po siya, the policies of this administration and made it known to the public on social media long before the President even assumed office. Ay, anti-Marcos ito. No? Ay, at least, nag-resign siya. She have the decency na mag-resign. No? Siguro hindi na matiis. Bakit ako nagsiserve sa taong kinamumuhian ko? Anti-Marcos ako. Ayan po ang sabi dito. Sa aking opinion lang. Ha? No? She have manifested this, no, against siya sa policies long before the President even assume office. Assume, no? Instead of working together with colleagues in the government to address any concerns, they were instead constantly done so through public fora. Ay, nako. Talagang, naglabas siya ng saloobin sa kanyang social media. The termination of her appointment could only be expected as she clearly does not support the administration and its programs for nation building. While we support anyone's right to free speech, it will be counterintuitive to have someone be part of the administration who was clearly set or maligning it to begin with. We wish her all the best in her future endeavors moving forward. Ang mangyayari dyan, magiging critic na ito. Baka sasama na to doon sa isang grupo o mga grupo na anti-Marcos. Anti-Marcos naman talaga siya from the very beginning pa lang. Bago pa nga daw nakaupo ang Pangulong Bongbong Marcos. Ayaw niya na sa mga policies. Bakit hindi pa kaagad tinerminate yan? Hindi pa kaagad tinanggal. At least ngayon, nagkaroon siya ng decency na mag-resign. Good luck sa'yo, Cielo Magno. No? Kailangan talaga mag-hire ka dyan nung naniniwala sa mga advocacy mo. Hindi tulad nitong mga to. Siguro talagang matagal na tong hindi lang yung ayaw niya sa policies. Ayaw niya talaga sa Marcos. Yun lang yon. Kung ayaw mong sumuporta sa gobyerno, hindi mo kayang suportahan because of your principle, umalis ka dyan sa gobyerno. Bumalik ka na lang pag nakaalis na yung taong inaayawan mo. Di po ba? Ganun lang. Man enough, huwag kang magpaka-hypocrite. Siguro, at least siya, hindi niya kailangan ng sahod niya, nagpakatao lang siya, nagpakatotoo siya, nakakabilib naman yan. Correct. Siguro, meron pa siyang ibang mga mapupuntahang trabaho, meron siyang other source of income, that's better. Maglagay kayo dyan ng tao na susuporta sa mga polisiya at hikain ng current government. Antayin na lang natin na gumangaw siya sa social media niya, yung mga rant niya, kung maaari. At least pinakita niya lang na nagpapakatao siya. Totoo. Real talk. Ayaw ko sa polisiya ninyo, ayaw ko kay Pangulong Marcos, bye-bye. Sabi naman dito, okay, good luck. Ayaw mo, di ayaw mo. At least nagpakatao siya. Totoo lang ako. Good job. Yan ang maganda. May prinsipyo, may isang salita. Bagong Pilipinas. Nawala siya. Kayo po, ano pong inyong masasabi? Comment down below and don't forget to like and share. Hope to see you on our next videos. Bye-bye. God bless.